There's a great example. We built a pop-up as an experiment in this. This is something Catholics would do. This is what I mean by the kind of the confrontation, the collision between the Catholic vision of reality and the current culture, right? We built a pop-up in Minneapolis called Farside Coffee. And we put, inspired by Faraday Cafe, this pop-up, this like an art project that was done in Vancouver. We put a big bunch of the seating area inside of a Faraday cage.
Whoa.
So your phone's a brick when you sit down.
Dude, that's awesome.
And there was no to-go cups.
The thing that popped in my mind is like no Wi-Fi Tuesdays or something.
Yeah, there was no Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
We put it in a Faraday cage and there was no to-go cups.
Whoa.
And so people would walk in, hey, can I get your password? Can I get something to go? We don't have to-go cups. And people literally started a Yelp page about Farside so they could bitch about the fact that we're these ideological hipsters don't have to-go cups.
Yeah.
They thought it was something that we were doing about the environment. No, we're like, but what Sam, shout out to Sam France, the guy that was behind the bar there. Sam would see someone walk in and they go, hey, can I get a cappuccino to go? We don't have to-go cups. What do you mean? Like, no, we just want you to be here with us and have this now and be.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, I mean, I'm like, really? You really don't have 5 minutes for a coffee?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I do.
Yeah.
And they'd sit down and they'd end up staying there for an hour talking.
Wow, man. That's risky, man. That's risky though.
Yeah,
like if you do that and someone's,
it was a pop-up and we didn't need to make any money. It was like, and what we did was we did this thing. We didn't tell anybody who was doing it. We got some media in Minneapolis, some press on it. Yeah. And then we went, surprise, we're the Roman Catholic Church.
Wow.
That's why we did this.
That's dope.
Because we're personalists.
Yeah. That's dope.
Like, so but that was kind of fun.
That's dope, man.
Yeah. So I would say, I mean, there's one model. I mean, I'm about to put a bunch of models on my website. One model we're going to put there is the deep analog coffee house.
What do you mean by deep analog?
I mean, the deeply analog. I want to
no computers.
Yeah, I want to do a shop. I want to have this as my home shop. I want to have a shop where there's like an ATM like outside or something, and it's cash only. Mm-hmm. There's no to-go cups. There's almost no signage, just not hand drawn or something like that. No screens allowed in the space, and it's just you come here. Now that sounds crazy, right? Oh my gosh, no screens? It's cash only? No, it's called 1995.
Yeah.
It was just, I mean, since I have been in the industry, that was a shop.
Yeah.
The only time you pulled out a credit card, you had to pull this big thing out and
go,
you know, it was because you didn't have enough money to pay for it or whatever.
Yeah.
You're buying a big purchase or something. You used to physically take something that was, this is one example. Well, why would it matter? Cash. I'm taking this really clear, really stark icon of value that I spent my time for, and I am handing it to you physically, touching your hand. Here, this is an exchange for your work and care and expertise and craft. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Yeah.
Versus, getting on the app,
swipe it,
ordering your Starbucks, paying for it, walk in and just grabbing it and walk out.
I heard someone talk about, I think it might have been Gary Vaynerchuk talk about, he had this idea for
Gary Vaynerchuk.
He had this idea of like a bar that was, or like a space that was only open one day a week. And when you went, you couldn't leave for 24 hours. There was no phone, no electronics. You put all that in a bag. Yeah. And you go there and it's kind of like almost like almost like a spa, but it's like a relaxed hangout community. Yeah. No TVs, just like really beautiful, like kind of like what you're saying, coffee, drinks, space. You can't leave for 24 hours and it's on a Tuesday. Like, so it's like middle of the week, like contrary to the culture of work and productivity. It's like, are we all going? It's almost like escape rooms kind of thing. Yeah, totally. Where it's like this experience that you go into.
Yeah, I just think that you could do so much more with that. That's why I'm not. Look, man. If you want to put a cross in the wall of your coffee house, fine, put a cross in the wall. Yeah. But a cross can be an assertion of an ideology.
Yeah,
or it can be a proposal of a reality.
Yeah.
And it's an assertion of an ideology most of the time. And
if there's no relationship.
Right. And so one thing that we say time and time again, one of the very first principles of Calix is that if you're going to do evangelization or discipleship, the default context, the preferred context, the way it should be is you should be in relationship, in community with that person.
Yeah.
If you're not willing to pay the price to be in relationship, in community with that person, you don't get to be the one to evangelize them.
Is this the like belong?
And I'm sorry for all the people that love street ministry, and standing on the corner with signs or whatever. Dude, but even like I remember I was talking to Stefanik about this, and he was like, he's like, look, if someone just comes across one of the videos that I throw on YouTube with no precursor, just like they hit it, that's fine. I hope they do. That's not what it's for. It's for someone to go, hey, check this out. This guy said it better than ever.
And then they talk about
it. It's a tool to be used in relationship, right?
I feel so.
So you have to be willing to earn the right to be heard.
That's like the belong, behave, believe kind of thing. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
I've heard some people talk about this where it's like, oftentimes we're so nervous to make atheists believe before they behave or belong. Right. And then there's this idea that like, if people feel like they belong and then you're behaving a certain way and they start kind of experimenting with that behavior,
there you go.
Then finally they're hearing the beliefs of it, and then you're able to kind of like propose like, here's why we're doing it.
Yeah.
And then that's the last thing.
I would put it a little differently. I would say you build a space, and I would say you build one of the first principles of our work is that, St. Thomas Aquinas says that that love is to will the good of the other as other, right? And that we see from John Paul II that love is a gift of self, right? I mean, so to love someone, you're giving them you in some way, right? But then, as we said before, the thing received is received in the mode of the receiver, right? So you have to give them yourself in a way they can understand it as gift.